Yeah. So, I mean, because we started talking about Bigfoot last time, and that got me thinking, like, maybe, I don't know. What's the redheaded giants called again? Sakama.
It was, well, the redheaded giant that you're talking about is the one that the special forces found in Afghanistan.
Yeah. And then there's also there's accounts in Nevada as well.
That's right.
Lovelock.
Oh yeah, it was called the Giant of Kandahar.
Yeah. So what happened with that was, I'm stealing this from Mr. Ballin, who is a former Navy SEAL turned storyteller, and now he's a big YouTube guy. But essentially, what happened was in 2002 in Afghanistan, an entire infantry platoon went missing, which is unheard of because when anytime anything ever happens, you have radios. So someone's going to know you're in trouble at least, right? They might not know what happened, but they know you called out some kind of distress. That never happened. They just were unaccounted for. Like went completely missing. So, of course, the military is going to start some kind of attempt to figure out what happened. So they dispatched a team of Army Special Forces Green Berets. So they go to the site where they were last, I guess, maybe tracked or heard from. They couldn't find anything. Then they start walking up this pathway that they saw, and they started finding equipment and broken radios and pieces of U.S. Army uniform on the ground. And then they found human bones, or they found bones, but they couldn't figure out if they were human or not. And then they saw the entrance to this giant cave. So they held defensive positions. And then all of a sudden, a spear came out of this fucking cave. This is going to sound insane. A spear came out of this cave, out of the darkness, into one of the army soldiers, into one of the Green Berets, right through them. And then after that happened, this is all accounted by one Green Beret that came forward and anonymously, and he accounts this whole thing. And he said, after the spear got thrown, a 12 to 15 foot red-headed, red-beard giant comes out and grabs the spear and pulls it out of the Green Beret. And then everyone's like, holy shit. And they just start unloading on it, right? And they drop it, kill it. They call it in and they're like, hey, we just got in contact with what we think is some kind of weird human, and it's a giant. They sent 2 helos to extract the team, and the other one to hoist this giant and fly it out. And rumor has it that it was dropped off at an airfield. And I have a drawing. It's not a real picture, but a drawing I'll send you. But it's and they met at a C-130, and it was loaded up onto an Army C-130 or Air Force C-130, and never seen again. Never talked about. The team that it happened to, they wrote it up. They did a debrief about what happened, and once they submitted it, the chain of command was like, nope, we're not going to write this, rewrite it. And they had to lie about the whole thing, about what happened. They just made it sound like they got engaged by the enemy. So that's the Giant of Kandahar.
So that reminds me of, the story of the Great Flood?
Yeah.
If you went to church, they would tell you the story that, everyone was so bad that God flooded the earth and Noah was the only really good, pure person left on the planet. But I was listening to things today because we were going to talk about this giant, and someone broke it down. And I can't remember if it was the book of Enoch or what it was, but leading up to Noah's Ark was all about the Nephilim. And the Nephilim are obviously
they were fallen angels that mated with human women.
Yeah, and so they produced these giants, and they said that Noah was the only genetically pure human left on the planet. And that is why the Great Flood happened. It wasn't because, people were just acting bad. It was actually these fallen angels were mating with the women of men, and creating these giants, and it was disrupting the DNA, and it was supposedly there was a lot of cannibalism involved, and it was just getting out of control. Of course, I don't know if this actually happened, but according to the Bible, that's what it says, and but what's crazy is that so you're in Orlando, right? You're in Florida. I want to show you a video. Did you hear about the Miami incident that happened on January 2nd?
I don't think so.
This is the craziest shit I've ever seen. Supposedly, the official story says that a group of teenagers were lighting off fireworks and they were fighting with sticks. Let me show you the response to this event.
Gunshots.
Oh, that's what that was? I didn't hear that. I just heard screaming.
Yeah, no, that's why I came running. I could...
Holy shit.
And so it seems like, wow, that was a really, really crazy response for a group of teenagers fighting with sticks and lighting off fireworks. I wouldn't think that would be the response. So then this guy posts a video, which he then deleted.
So since nobody's going to talk about it, I figured, fuck it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was down in Miami for the New Year's, you know what I'm saying? Me and my girl, I got a little timeshare. We was down there on a mini vacay, just to start the New Year's off right. So anyway, we happened to be at that mall. So we had Foot Locker or whatever. Next thing you know, you start hearing all this commotion outside, sound like firecrackers or something. So, you know what I'm saying? I grab her close. I'm like, yo, we about to get up out of here. Cause I originally thought that they were shooting. You know what I'm saying? I thought, some type of, gunfight had broke out, whatever the case is. Cause we're not familiar with Miami. We're not familiar with the city. So I'm like, damn, I ain't even got my blick. So, you know what I'm saying? We about to swerve. Next thing I know, it's like crazy. Like we just see all these people running, like, fat chicks, old ladies, like I'm talking about moving, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, old people even move. I'm talking about moving. So, my girl, she like, what's going on? I'm like, fuck all that. We out. Like, I'm not going to ask no questions. We just going to follow the crowd. Next thing you know, real like gunshots start going off. So, you know what I'm saying? Like we trying to follow the crowd, get out of there. I look back, no cap, yo, no cap. I look back. It looked like a big ass shadow, but it was solid at the same time, like a few shadows, but they were solid at the same time. And it almost looked like they was coming our direction, like they was chasing us, but they was disappearing and reappearing closer. So I'm like, yo, what? So we start really moving. Next thing you know, we start hearing more gunshots. Like these dudes start firing at this shit. Get outside, mad police, all that. You know what I'm saying? The police is like trying to get all the people that ran out the mall. They like trying to detain these people, whatever. But, me and my girl, we ended up just, sliding past all that and everything like that. But, a lot of people saying, why didn't nobody film and all that? When that type of shit is going on, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that, like some paranormal, nobody thinking about no phone. You know what I'm saying? Everybody going survival mode. But for real, they lying, yo. It was all them officers and all that. They was not there because of no kids fighting. It was really some like movie shit going on in there, yo. So, that's what it was, yo.
Okay, so here's the final thing that's really weird about this is that they not only did they send that response for kids fighting, but they shut down the airport that was right next to the mall. So maybe
Can you see me? Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. I'm going to stop sharing the screen now.
You're good. I just want to make sure that you can still. Okay.
So my question to you is that an appropriate response to kids fighting, or is this guy just making this shit? I mean, it sounds crazy, you know.
Yeah, I've actually responded to something very similar at the Florida Mall. It came out, active shooter in the mall. You will get every cop car in a 10-mile radius going 120 miles to an active shooter. We pull it up. There's people running out of the mall. Everybody grabs their rifles. We start going in, and we clear the entire mall up to the point where if they were in there, they were hiding. Like, the mall has been cleared as far as like we can't find any active shooters. So now we have to do a thorough search of the mall, like every closet of every store. So I'm saying that only to say it turns out it was kids with fireworks in the food court. The problem is with mass hysteria. I watched the camera footage. It was people dead sprints over tables, like, because you think there's an active shooter in the mall. And in today's culture, everywhere you go, you're like, even civilians now are like, where's my exit? Because it's fucking crazy world. But the other thing I want to ask about that thing too is it only this guy's TikTok that's describing these 8-foot tall black beings, or is there multiple people saying they saw that? Because if it's one guy on TikTok saying like, yo, they lying, dog, and that's it, like,
no, dude, it probably was. I've just never seen that. When I say it probably was a response to either fireworks, like you said, or mass hysteria. It's just weird that no one was filming inside the mall. Like, there's no footage of inside the mall of when this happens, right? And then the other weird thing was that they shut the airport down. And then you have Tucker Carlson on this podcast talking about he says it's so disturbing with what the government is doing with aliens that he won't even tell his wife. And you have the Epstein list that has just come out. Like, bro, what is, like, 2024 started so intense. You have the Epstein, we have aliens, we have potential mall-going Nephilim.
Yeah,
in the form of shadows.
And that's not even counting the election that's going to happen. Like, it's going to be a crazy fucking year. It's probably going to be a really sad year as far as, like, what the government can do and how they can turn people against each other, but all the things you just mentioned, then you add the election on top of it. And it's just like, what's going to happen when one person wins and the other one doesn't? One side is going to be like irate. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that if you were going to be 8-foot tall, dimension hopping creatures, they probably wouldn't choose the Miami Mall. But you never know.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to show that to you because it happened in Florida, and of course, the guy's like, yeah, they're 8-foot dimensional hopping Nephilim creatures, but
he didn't have his blick on him, dog. So he ain't gonna stay around for that. There ain't gonna be no video when he don't got no blick on you. You gotta go,
bro. Like, I mean, it's just so much information at all times, dude. I don't know how people are gonna. It's crazy. There's a crazy amount of drama in the world right now, and it's like January. It's like, what the fuck?